Welcome to our day about innovating with open data. I'm David Eccles. I'm a founder of Wallscope, and I'd like to welcome everyone who's come here today, albeit virtually. And today is about getting from A to B. Those journeys from A to B and new journeys beyond B. Innovating with the data and creating a positive impact. There's a lot of time passes and a lot of time will pass. Does anyone remember turning the computer off? Well, the truth is, this did not stop us. We moved on. We were more interested in getting to point B and getting beyond point B. Why? Technology is an extension of human endeavor and human inquiry. And we don't always need to follow conventional wisdom. Sometimes we just need to think what is possible. And that's what's interesting about open data. It actually allows us to think a bit differently, a bit beyond where we might think we have to be. And all we need to understand is what questions do we want to ask and how can we ask better questions? The first mouse, 1964. Again, this is all part of a journey. It's human and it's evolutionary. It's also about our beginnings, our origins, and where we go. It's the wisdom of the past which provides us hope for the future. And here is a past, a wooden mouse. It would have felt very different. It would have felt warm. It was novel. It was an input device. And as a human experience, it extended what was achievable by more than just programmers. And it allowed for better human interactions. This is about human interaction, not necessarily the technology. If we can make better human experiences, then imagine. Here's a physical first spreadsheet. Imagine what that has allowed us to do and what it allows us to conceive of. But this is recent history, yet we still strive to reach future points of inquiry and reason and discovery. We need to extend the tool set further. We need to innovate. We want to build better points for human interactions. Human scale is a very interesting aspect of where we need to be thinking, and it's very important how Wallscope thinks. We want to extend value and support a wider range of tasks. So I'd like to introduce Ted. Ted Nelson, born 1937. Well, a pioneer of information technology, a philosopher and a sociologist. Now, the Orson Welles of software, overcoming obstacles and challenges, writing for others, a tragic hero, perhaps, Cyrano de Bergerac. That's how you like to think of himself. And that provides another way of looking at a problem, how we think about ourselves and how we can get machines to understand what we seek on their journey. So Ted's thoughts on a spreadsheet. When you made a change in one place, all other things changed instantly and automatically. A new idea of a way to use a computer, yet we still seek to get to point B and of course beyond. So we open up windows, we open up doors, and we start with a cell on a spreadsheet. We can change that and it can change other things. So there's many more challenges to solve. And as we solve one, we end up with another one. But if you can change one thing, what happens next? Everything can be contextually related. And it's that contextual relationship is always important in how a human thinks. What situation they're in, how do they react, what can they change, and what can they discover, what can they find through search. And this is part of Wallscope's journey. Our journey, Wallscope's journey, is we want to improve the methods and tools which improve the dynamic discovery of data. We look at this through cognitive search. It's a very human representation of how we might think or have a machine think. And this allows us to get further. Why? Wallscope? Well, with Wallscope, we want to remove barriers to knowledge. We're more concerned with knowledge than data, but we use data. So if we can create business value, if we can look at the humanization aspect here, how that's changing and improving, what we also see from this diagram is that improvements in humanization actually increase business value. Now, for many, that is a worthwhile journey. And that's why we would recommend looking into this area of cognitive search, cognitive computing, and looking at it in this way. Can we ask better questions? And can we get better answers? And can we relate these to people? Can we relate these to places, organizations, and concepts, topics, and subjects? This is how we might think of domains of inquiry. But here's a request, and it's how we maybe think about the future, or could. Here's a link, and it will take you to an interesting endeavour called Youth STEM 2030. What changes should we have by 2030 and for whom? So it's very worthwhile looking at it. There, you'll get an introduction and meet the change makers, the innovators, and leaders of the future. There's a small video there, and you'll hear from them. And it's a very interesting thing to look at, because these are the people that we should serve. We should be thinking 10 years ahead. What are the problems? What are the challenges? What should we strive towards? And what should we seek solutions for? Anyhow, that's an introduction, and please feel free to ask questions as we move through the day. Thank you very much for your time.